good.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we'll give all praises to the Heavenly Father,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
and double honors as always to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. All right, the order of that is the 144,000 under who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the tabernacle of David, as well as the large multitude, the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on, who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, which will be brought back to the Most High through Yahweh Shai, all right, and establish what is known as the throne of David, all right, and that's why we're here. And basically today we're here for another class. We'll try to get through some scriptures, make it precise and as to the point as possible, dealing with the term that we always bring out, how we say, keep the law to the best of your ability, which that's scriptural, which that's under attack, first and foremost through Christianity. And now we're seeing it in Israel, where you're having an influx of individuals pushing the notion that the law, statutes, and commandments are done away with. And when we say, all right, and understand the law being done away with, or hear the laws being done away with, we know the law, statutes, and commandments are holy. Somebody get that in Romans, the 7th chapter. Romans 7 and start at 11, Baba Kashah. The laws themselves were created, when you read the book of, Exodus, Leviticus, the laws were, implemented to keep us from doing after the manner of those Hamites, those different nations that had inhabited the Holy Land. The laws were given to keep us from the ways of evil, to make us separate, to make us holy. All right? But you have to understand there's the law, but there's a covenant that was tied to the law.
Right.
All right, that we have to understand when we say this term, done away with. What is done away with? Is the law done away with? Is the Old Testament done away with? What's done away with is that covenant agreement. Yeah, and we'll get into that. All right, and now we have a more, efficient and better way to get back to the Father. So let's get Romans.
Because the law initially, that's why the scripture says the law was just a tutor.
Right.
Why? Because we was in captivity in Egypt for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hebrews, the Israelites, were assimilated into Egyptian culture.
Mm-hmm.
All manner of idol worship and going off.
Mm-hmm.
So when the laws was given to Moses in the wilderness, it was meant to reteach our people of a way that was oral tradition before that.
Mm-hmm.
A way that was just known in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
But that way was lost. So these teaching points were written down for Jake to practice. It was only supposed to be for 40 days to pass through the wilderness, but what happened? Jake went off, started getting back into the Egyptian customs, and it led to 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the Most High said, this whole generation right here, I'm gonna wait for the next generation.
Right.
They're gonna come up underneath these laws, and then I'll let them into the land.
That's where you get the book of Deuteronomy. That means that's the second introduction of the law to the generation after those wicked niggas died in the wilderness.
Boom.
And that the Deuteronomy is basically a reintroduction to that new generation. All right, that's why the curses were tied. Look, you mess up this time.
Yeah.
If you do after the doings of your father, this time you through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yes,
So I want to get this for you, Elder. This is Leviticus 18:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord Yahweh your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
That's why we weren't meant to mingle with the other nations, do no pacts with them. Look, when you go into the temple and I give you the okay to take down these people, you take them down, then you come back and report.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you when to go ahead and advance to the next site. Get everything together, gather up, make sure. The Most High didn't want us to mingle with. Why? Because Jake was prone to going off. Why? Because that's the culture that they came out of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we're going through that spiritually now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What did I call for?
Romans 7.
and 11.
Yep, get that.
All right.
Romans 7:11. For sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good.
Right. So the law is holy. The commandments, when you go into them, when you hear about separating from a woman on her menstrual cycle, when you hear about not sleeping with another man's wife, all of these things are very good advice. It's a very good culture to follow. There's nothing wrong with the law. The problem was the covenant that was tied to that law. And what was that, brothers? That if you break these commandments, you out of there.
Yeah,
The law is good as long as there's obedience.
Right, right. Basically, we receive life and favor with the Most High through obedience in that covenant. That was that covenant agreement. It was predicated upon your doings in the law, your obedience to these technicalities, all of these various different things, you know. So when we talk about the law being done away with, it's not that the law, statutes, and commandments as far as eating pork and all of these things are done away with. It's just our way back to the Father has now been upgraded through grace. And we'll get into that. Was there some more?
I got to appreciate
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, so the law is holy. The law, when you look at this world, what is the main problem? Sin. The scriptures say, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many is waxed cold. Isaiah 24. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Why? Because they have changed the ordinance and broke the law. So the law is a good thing. So for any nigga to find out he's an Israelite and to tell you you don't have to keep the laws, you can do what the hell you want to do, that's a damn lie. We're just not under the Levitical priesthood anymore. Go ahead.
Okay, kind of. Because you made a mention going into the ancient world, if you violated certain of those laws,
Right.
as you read in Hebrews, the 10th chapter, what does it say? You were judged without mercy, pretty much.
Right.
You know, but this is 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 7. It says, but if the administration of death, written and engraven in stones, was glorious.
Right. Now, what is he talking about, the administration of death? That first covenant?
Right.
Because really, it was no way we could keep it. We in the flesh. All right, here it is. We have the curse of Adam. Now we receive this agreement that if you don't remain perfect in these technicalities, you're going to get cursed. It was a setup. The Lord talked about how he made the creature subject to vanity. So that first covenant was an administration of death. It only exposed how wicked we were. It only exposed, when you read the law, like we always say, when you read the law, statutes, and commandments, it's really nothing, you're not, what is there to boast
Ain't
in?
nothing to boast in.
When you read the laws, really you understand how much you need Yahweh Shai. It cuts you. Because there's no way we can meet that measure.
Right.
Okay? So the problem ain't the law, the problem is us. This flesh. All right? You can go ahead.
Gone. It says, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance. Excuse me. Which glory was to be done away. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit rather be glorious? For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, and that shows you right there, that first covenant still was glorious. You know? And it says, how much more doeth the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory? And that's that second covenant coming in. But even as we're in this grace period, building that relationship up with Yahweh Shai, understanding spiritual things, we're entering into that.
Right.
You know, but that don't mean that the first covenant, we're not under it no more. We're not under the law, I'd rather say, you know. But that don't mean that you shun it.
Right.
You know, it's there for a reason. It wasn't just there to be done away with. You know?
Right.
We're not under that first covenant.
Right.
But we keep righteousness,
Right.
which is in the law,
Right.
right? And I know sometimes these things can be hard to understand.
It's
And
grace period.
This is why these things have to be written for the churches to understand. This is why you read all these back and forths that was happening in the churches. When you had those different Jews that was keeping the law, the way they was keeping the law and bringing in the scattered Israelites, right? This is why they had the Council of Acts, the 15th chapter, and all these type of things, right?
Yep.
We're not bound by penalty if we break it now.
Right. Right. Through the blood of Yahweh Shai. But if you understand the blood of Yahweh Shai, and you understand why we're in this condition, through this grace period, you're not going to just do what the hell you want to do.
Right.
You're still going to use the law, statutes, and commandments as a guide.
Yeah.
But the goal is to just walk in the Spirit.
Yeah, school man.
Love. That's why it talks about love being fulfilled in the law, which we'll get that. But let's get Romans, the 10th chapter, and you can start at 3 or 4, whatever you think.
All right.
And then somebody get John 1 and 17.
That's what I was hoping to.
Yeah, well, you get it.
I was going to have to get it.
Yep.
This is just one verse.
Yep.
This is St. John 1 and 17. It says, for the law was given by Moses, But grace and truth came by Yahweh Shah Hamashiach.
And what is grace period? What is a grace period? And the simplest way to explain it is basically, well, you have a penalty, but the Lord gives you a period where you don't have to pay the penalty.
Right.
Right.
All right, but during that grace period, all right, do you go and get yourself in more debt? That's not the goal. The goal is to get out of debt during that grace period. So what do you do in the grace period? You're trying to gain the money.
Right. Right. Flip
Okay.
the talents.
Right. So since I don't have to pay the bill on the first, I can now pay it on the 30th. Right. But from the second to the 29th, that don't mean you just go and get you squander and get more debt.
Yeah.
You don't make light of the grace period.
Right.
You're happy. Like, whoa, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Extended time.
Right. So when these dudes are telling you, because the dude from Boston said keeping the laws to the best of your ability is asinine because if you break one, you broke off. That's according to the covenant. That's according to the covenant, but we're under grace. So what do we do under grace? Grace, you make your body a living sacrifice by the renewing of your mind, putting off idols, which are things that are in the law. The law is what tells you to put off idols.
He just wanted a baconator.
You know?
Well, you get that scripture.
Yeah.
Do we then make void the law
Yeah.
through faith?
Yep.
Well,
We got it.
you should
We got
get
it.
that right behind what you said.
Go ahead, get it. Yep. Romans 3. Yep.
So that means you could be a homosexual.
Yeah, that goes. I was gonna say that goes
Right.
back to actually the point the apostle was making earlier before I
Right.
turned the camera on.
Right.
So it's okay to be a homosexual.
Right. But you'll say no, but why? Because the law. That's why. The law said not to be one. That's why how you know not to be one. So again, keeping the law to the best of your ability is biblical under this grace period, because ultimately you don't want to be over righteous and say the law is your salvation. You gotta be perfect in the first covenant to receive salvation. That's not the message. But you do keep the laws to the best of your ability as a guide to how you behave yourself, what to do, what not to do.
It's a showing of faith too.
It's a showing of faith.
Right. And without works is
It's
dead.
righteous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's righteous.
That's right.
Because, see, those are just wicked ass evil people.
Right.
You can eat pork, you can eat abominations, right?
Right.
But then, basically, if you get these infirmities because you're eating pork, the reason that black people and Hispanic people and Native American people are sickly and fucked up because they don't keep the dietary meals.
Point blank period. Sin.
That's it.
That's
Yep.
Sin is the
Sin.
problem.
But then they sit there, auntie so-and-so, grandma so-and-so, my daddy, my mama, they died, they had a heart attack, they got gout, they got this, but y'all sitting there just eating everything that you can eat,
Right.
right? The dietary laws, you dummies.
Right. It's a very good. It's good advice.
Yeah.
And it helps the earth when you don't eat unclean foods, because
Right.
the things that are meant to clean the
Yep.
water, so everybody wins when you when you keep the laws to the best of your ability. That's why the Lord's gonna put the laws in us.
Having
laws-
sex
Right.
with I'm sorry,
No, hit it.
having sex with another man's woman, right? What happens from that? All kind of other confusion.
Confusion.
But then somebody's gonna get killed.
Right.
Because then I can just go and pop your woman. And that's being a fucking mo.
People, if brothers kept that law right there, as a nation, boy, that would clean up.
That would clean up the earth.
Man.
That would
That's
clean
what I'm
up all
saying.
that
Don't you?
shit.
So you complaining about the earth because of sin, but then at the same time you're teaching people you don't have to keep the law. That's asinine.
Don't do it to the best.
That's stupid. What can fix this earth ultimately is going to be through the Most High, because the only thing that can fix this is the Heavenly Father sending His Son back.
The laws.
But the laws
Yep.
is what's going to be implemented to clean everything up.
That's right.
So why right now wouldn't we, to the best of our ability, keep those?
Yeah, but then you gonna claim I serve God.
Right.
I serve God. I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus and God, and oh yeah. But then okay, I'm claiming to be a holy man, but then I'm gonna go and have sex with his wife.
Right.
But then God, the holy, but then, see, that's that sick, demented shit. I'm gonna go pop his woman, right? But tomorrow I'll pray to God tomorrow.
Right.
Don't forget me.
I'm justified in that.
Yeah, I'm justified. I can do that. I can do that. I can pop his woman, but tomorrow morning after I bust off, I'll get up in the morning and I'll pray, God forgive me,
Right.
and then go do it again.
Right.
and just continue.
And that's the world that we live in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the reprobate mindset.
Be
And-
I want to say the F word, but
Right.
I'm not gonna.
right,
Be a mo.
right.
But now TD Fix, he said, yo, we gotta. He basically said,
Yeah, that's
well,
okay.
you could change the Bible. You could change the narrative of the Bible.
Right.
Let the moles in.
Yeah.
They can have their own churches. They had a faith that fits their belief.
How?
Based on what?
But then, okay, forget about the Old Testament. Let's deal with the Romans, the first chapter.
Right.
The Apostle Paul. Okay, reprobate spirits. The New Testament
That's it.
Yeah.
goes, real talk, the New Testament goes in harder on the most than the Old Testament does.
Right.
The Old Testament, the Leviticus 20 and 13, kill them
Right.
and chop them. And after you kill them, you're supposed to chop them up into little pieces.
Right.
That's what it means when you read Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them, the giver and the receiver, have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. What does that mean? Any one of y'all. What does that part mean?
Shed their blood.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much they did it to themselves. That's what I always thought. Their blood should be upon them.
that recompense.
Like,
Yes,
yeah,
you're right, but I want you to go more in depth.
You said chopped up, so it must be like in a brutal fashion.
Yes.
You
It's
know.
supposed that you hack them up into pieces
Makes
and
sense.
let the blood just flow.
Okay.
You don't just kill them. You kill them and then you hack them up after their death into pieces.
That
Makes sense.
That reminds me of how Samuel did Agag,
Mm-hmm.
the Edomite king. You just
Thank you.
No, if that law was implemented today, right now in
For an
America,
example.
Yeah. LGBT.
imagine the change it would bring to the environment that we're in.
Absolutely.
Point blank, period. Let's get Romans.
Romans
real quick.
3?
Romans 3 and 31, and then Romans 10.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I want you to read that one, Bob.
NLT.
Romans and NLT. I read it.
No, regular King James, then NLT.
Yeah, I got both translations.
Cool.
Romans 3 and 31. It says, "Do we then make void the law through faith?"
Faith, because that's how we're justified now, by faith. Under the first covenant, you were justified by your obedience to the law. Under the grace period that we've been blessed with, now you're justified by faith. Somebody, man, were you in Romans 3?
Yeah, come on.
Read 3 and 24 real quick.
Okay.
Just
Yep.
read that real quick and then jump to that.
Yep. This is Romans 3 and 24. It says, "Being justified."
Start at 23.
Yeah, that's yeah. Romans 3 and 23, it says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High."
And how do we find out what sin is? By the law, transgression of the law. Okay, that's how we know what sin is.
Christians like to use this as an excuse to get out.
Right,
We
right.
all have sinned and come short.
What is it? Wicked.
Because we all, that's why we need
true.
Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
That's why the blood of Yahweh Shai is important. But understanding what he did with that sacrifice, that should embolden you to do and follow his example. When he
Make
came to the
effort.
earth, was not he perfect in the law of Moses?
Yes.
So if we're to follow his example, knowing, of course, we know we can't be perfect in his flesh, but wouldn't you want to try?
I got a quick precept.
Okay, read that real quick. And then that.
Yep. Drop down to Romans 3 and 31.
Did you read 20?
Oh yeah, 24. I got you. Romans 3 and 24 says, "Being justified freely by His grace through the redemption that is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai."
So we're justified now by grace, and under grace, you're justified by faith. That's the difference. When we say you're not under the law, we're not under the first covenant in the sense that our righteousness is based upon keeping the law.
Right.
But you're justified by faith. Faith without works is dead. The works are at some point going to be tied to the law.
Why, Elder One Bob?
You know?
Why are we not justified by the law? Why? Because we can't keep the law
can't keep the law
perfectly.
Right.
Right here and fucking now sitting in this room.
You can't do it.
We all wearing clothes, right? We ain't sitting there butt naked.
Mixed fabric.
The clothes we're wearing are mixed fabrics. I know goddamn well this t-shirt I'm wearing is not all cotton. These fucking jeans, even the boots, brothers in the room. The clothes we're wearing is mixed. So we're going off right there. So let's just start there. Okay, the fucking clothes we're wearing, bro. And then the Passover's coming up in two months, right? Am I right? A little under 2 months. In March, the Passover will be here. Now, technically, according to the law, we're supposed to have a whole lamb
Right.
No blemish.
With no blemish.
with no blemish. We gotta have it all right, and we're supposed to roast it with the pertinence thereof. That, in the backyard, we're supposed to have a whole lamb, and then on top of that, take the blood of that lamb and smear it across the outsides of this house.
Right.
See?
That's what Yahweh Shai is. He did that for us. So we can now put it, it's on him. He's the blood. You know, it makes it so much easier under a grace period to be justified by faith.
But how can we do that?
Right.
How can we do that, bro? Because if we did that, then the cops will be, the SWAT team will be here. We put blood over the door. You the motherfuckers cult.
The dead lamb in the backyard, the carcass.
They'll think we killing people, and they'll say we Jeffrey Dahmer, motherfuckers.
Right.
Right? Let us put some blood.
Right.
Let us have some blood. These neighbors will call the cops.
Animal rights activists,
Right.
all kinds of shit.
Animal rights activists, and
Right.
they'll say we just murdering people, and we got bodies chopped up.
Right.
Right?
That's why Paul said, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient.
Expedient.
Paul pretty much was breaking down the balance of that's why he always talked about grace. He was breaking it down how under this grace period, and they thought he was teaching not to keep the law. That's not the message. It's basically like the Apostle recalls going to. If our way back to the Father was based upon the first covenant, we are perpetually condemned.
Absolutely.
We would never get back to the Father. We would never get the kingdom. So what the grace period does, when John means grace, he baptized Yahweh Shai, that gives you another way back through Yahweh Shai sacrificing that blood. But you don't just take that and say, well, I don't have to live my life by no rules, no laws. I'm gonna just do what the hell I want to do. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Well, that's true. What's love?
Keeping the commandments.
We'll show you. Right? You got something, bro?
I got a few things, but just to continue to make the point about Yahushua.
Right.
Yahushua said here in Matthew the 5th chapter,
Right.
and if you go to the 16th verse, it says, "In the same way, let your deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your heavenly Father." This is in the NLT, by the way. It says, "Don't misunderstand why I have come." This is Yahushua talking.
Because what makes us shine is how we behave, what we're not doing.
Yes.
But it's still, what we're not doing, although it's through fear and faith in Yahweh Shai's sacrifice, fear of the Lord, it's still tied to those, we know our Father said not to do this. So the law is important, bro.
Commandments on a lamp or something. Yeah.
So
Now it's just certain things that, in this captivity, the water of Yahweh Bashim Shai, you lean on that blood. But you do what you can. Go ahead.
it says, "Don't misunderstand why I have come. I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No, I came to accomplish their purpose."
Right, because what did Yahweh Shai do? You got to understand, he's our Jubilee. When you look at the Jubilee, you freed from debt, you brought back to your land. He's the Jubilee for us. He's the morning sacrifice. He was taken in the morning. He's the evening sacrifice. He was sacrificed in the evening. He's everything we needed. He's the high priest. He's the scapegoat. Pretty much his sacrifice fulfilled everything we needed to be done under that Levitical priesthood. He did it with his body. He did it with himself. So that's what it means he fulfilled the law. He did it. He literally was every technique. He fulfilled every aspect that we needed under that covenant to be brought back to the Father. He put it on himself. That's what that means. He fulfilled the law. He did it. He was even his birth. He had to come from the seed of a man. His birth was according to the law. Everything.
Size on their day, yeah.
Right. Because if any tittle of the law he didn't fulfill or didn't do, then he ain't perfect. He ain't the perfect sacrifice.
Right. And so it says this, "I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even the smallest detail of the Most High's law will disappear
Right.
until its purpose is achieved.
Right.
So if you ignore the least commandment and teach others to do the same, you will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But anyone who obeys the Most High's laws and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven."
Right. Because we're going to have a ranking system in the kingdom. So you guys who are out there doing this wickedness, when you come back in the kingdom, you're just going to be a Israelite. You're going to be blessed. But you're not going to be known as one of those men who stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai. You basically have bowed the knee. All right? Now, Get that Romans 3.
Yep, this is Romans 3, dropping out of verse 31. I'll read in King James again. It says, do we then make void the law through faith? The Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law. And dropping down to NLT, it says, well then, if we emphasize faith, does this mean that we can forget about the law?
Right. So just because you emphasize faith under a grace period, that doesn't mean you just forget about the law. Oh, she on her cycle. I'm gonna just put it in.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
You know.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know. I mean, I'm under the Yahushua's blood. Why not hers?
Well, there's nastiness in the place.
That's filthy.
That's filthy. That's not.
unclean, that is.
That's
Or
unclean.
being a fucking mo.
Right.
And those demons will come. Cause this is the world we in. This is Sodom and Gomorrah and them 5 cities.
Right.
That spirit of Moism is out here. So niggas, well, fuck it. Why can't I have sex with a man? Fuck it. You got demons on you, man.
Right.
But then you give in to them demons and actually do that shit.
Right.
That's nasty. It's fucking reprobate.
Right.
It's fucking. Are you sick?
Right. Right.
You should be put down like a ravenous
Right.
dog.
And then you know what it's tied to? Idol worship.
Oh, I'm glad
All
you
of that
said
is
that.
tied to idol worship. So what will fix that? Don't bow to idols.
That's right.
That's what the Gentiles, when they
That's the
came
law.
into the church, was not that told to them. We'll get that in Acts the
I
15th
was just
chapter.
pulling it
Bomba.
up. Yeah, I was just getting.
Realistically, remember the God of this world. Remember the Bible always talks about the God of this world. Basically, when you become a mo, that's why all these. Oh, here we go, my man Cat Williams. Excuse me, my man Cat Williams, right? Which I don't care what he said. His little ass gave a little booty too. But anyways, he's exposing everybody now, right? Hollywood. For you to really blow up in Hollywood,
Right.
what you gotta do? You gotta give your booty.
It's a Babylonian church.
It's a Babylonian. I was talking to him earlier, the Bishop El Diana. He's the always, yeah, man, a man's anus is worship, right? Esau, which realistically Esau got it from Ham.
Yeah.
They go back to Ham.
Yeah.
Who were the Babylonians?
Right.
Cushites, yep.
Which were who?
The
Hamites.
Hamites.
The Hamites, yeah.
Yeah.
The original ones. The
So
ones
the
in the
original
Neo-Babylon.
Moles are really them Hamites.
Right.
Esau, let me explain something to you. Esau, like Apostle Tahar went into this a long time ago. Esau, the actual man himself, the actual Esau from Genesis 25. At the time that he was on the scene, he wasn't breaking the law, because the law was always there.
Yeah, he grew up around a family that was keeping the tradition.
Thank you. Esau had a beard.
Right.
He probably had friends even before the law, but
Right.
the law was really always there, but it was more verbal. It was always there. During the time of Moses, all that the Most High did was put it in writing.
Right. There you go.
But it was always there.
Yep.
Come on, man. You got Isaac and them and Abraham.
Right.
Abraham was walking around eating.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Well,
how
Noah
I
knew
was just-
clean and
There
unclean.
you
Abel
go.
knew
Con.
to live
Yeah.
by himself.
Oh,
Yeah.
That the obsolete. Oh man, we got man.
Right.
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 Noah knew, but guess what? The unclean animals had to go on the ark too.
Yeah. Yeah, because they got to be in the earth.
They had to go on the ark
They
too.
have a purpose in the ecosystem.
They have a purpose.
Like dogs have a purpose. They're unclean animals.
Vultures. Yeah, all that. All
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
So Noah, well, it's in the scriptures, man.
Right.
Clean and two of the clean.
Yeah.
Horses.
It's right there.
Right. That's why the scriptures say this is the commandment ye heard from the beginning, which is to walk in love. That's ultimately what we were supposed to do. We weren't supposed to have to look. We were just, the chosen seed was supposed to just walk in a way that was right. That's the original order, was to just, that's why I say Adam, he was given an order to
Yeah.
love the way of the
Yeah,
Most High.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
in the second edge. Somebody get that.
Second,
Second edge,
And
third
really,
chapter.
that was
Oh, by the way.
that was the confrontation that Yahweh was having with the scribes and Pharisees concerning the law.
Right.
A lot of people read that and try to interpret it as if it was saying that Yahweh wasn't following it. No. He was saying y'all ignore y'all. There's two parts to really this conversation that we're having. One is, okay, since Yahweh came and died on the cross, and we're coming into this new covenant, how do we walk in righteousness?
Right. What's the way back?
What is the way back?
Right.
What do the laws have to do with that? The laws have to do with your day-to-day living. But when it comes to belief and faith and everything like that, we're under a whole new
Right.
grouping of mediation
Right.
with the Heavenly Father.
Right.
A part of that, the Yahweh Shai is like, yeah, the way y'all even judge in the law is off.
It's all.
You've lost that way. Y'all don't even know how to judge using the law.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all acting like y'all so righteous, but you can't judge the weightier matters.
Broke the law.
You've missed. You all into traditions of men,
Right.
trying to be seen as righteous,
Right.
but you don't have the spirit of judgment.
Right. Like Sakari.
Right.
Yep.
So that was the argument back then. Yahweh Shai was never promoting. Somebody get Matthew 19 and 18 real quick. Real quick.
13.
Somebody get that right quick.
19 and 18.
I got it right here.
Yep.
This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 18.
Start at 17 maybe if it's.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Matthew 19 and 17. And he said unto me, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Right. We'll get. Yeah. There you go. If you shall enter into life, keep the commandments. Go ahead.
Verse 18. He saith unto him, which? Yahweh Shai said, thou shalt do no murder.
You should do no murder. That's plaguing the earth right now. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Mm-hmm.
Honor thy father and thy mother. And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Those are commandments. Those are commandments, bro. Point blank, period. And there's peace amongst that brings peace into the atmosphere
Right.
when you do those things. So how in the hell is any Israelite saying keep the laws to the best of your ability is asinine?
Yeah.
You may be in a situation where your mother and father are being complete demons to you, but you use the law, statutes, commandments as a way to discern, and you maneuver, you get out of the situation without doing something crazy. There's situations you go be in this truth where you can't do something technical according to the law. You're gonna have to do something in the spirit.
And it happened all throughout the scriptures.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's times in the scriptures where it seemed like, hey, he lied.
Right.
But he was being spiritual.
He was just, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? There are certain times in the scriptures where it's kind of like, okay, it's about being spiritually discerned. And I want to make this point according to what Elder Yashua was saying. It's like when you're around people that have agreed upon doing this to the best of their ability,
Right.
it creates a atmosphere of trust and safety.
Right.
Or you gonna go and just leave your wallet in a random restaurant? If you left your keys or your wallet in a random restaurant, you walked out, you realized you forgot. You be like, oh man. But if
You thinking of all of the
first start
bad things that happen. Yep.
somebody will do that. They'll take my identity. I'm done. But if you leave your wallet around brothers who all have agreed to live by this, you're like, oh man, I think I left it over there. Hey, somebody got my wallet. I'll get it tomorrow. Brother, take a picture of the wallet. Hey, you left your wallet.
Who's this? You know what I'm
Right, but if you just around some random niggas that don't believe in this, that's not trying to
You checking your
keep
account
the
on
law.
your phone.
Right, you looking at you closing your cards. Right.
You know, brother.
Because they're not keeping the law to the best of their ability. They're not thinking about it or worried about it.
Right. So they don't have wisdom will never meet them in their
A
thoughts.
spiritual
Ooh.
compass.
Hey, brothers. Now, see what the elder Ariana, you leave your wallet around brothers.
Right.
And I'm gonna say it, like, if I fell asleep and left my wallet here around GMS brothers, I ain't gonna trip. I said, look, I know they're gonna be there, but if I was in UPK, I asked UPK, but they said we worship a nigga God.
Yeah.
We niggas. I leave my wallet there, boy, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you should have left it.
You gotta go through your money.
Nigga just got out of jail. Take that motherfucker.
Finders keepers,
Losers, jailhouse.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be
You
the
gotta
Lord.
fight me for
Yeah,
it.
nigga culture and jailhouse culture, that's not a good way to be. You know, like what we're talking about, this promotes, you know, a system. You know, when you're doing it to the best of your ability, you even feel bad when you do wrong. Go ahead.
It's, you know, there's benchmarks that people won't cross when they follow the law.
Right.
When they're striving to keep it to the best of their ability.
Right.
And it creates, it's like a safety rail.
Right.
from destruction for all of us.
Right. Now let's get Romans 6 and 15 in the NLT. And I want to get a few more. Galatians 5 and 13.
Fathers, keepers, losers, weepers, bro.
Yeah, with the jab.
Yeah, but you're my brother, man. But we brothers, we Israel. Look, Ak.
Yep.
You gotta be on point. You told Jake.
Romans 6 and 15, right?
Let's get it in the NLT.
All right. This is Romans 6 and 15 in the NLT. It says, well then, since the Most High's grace has set us free from the law.
See, people they misinterpret that.
Yes, they do.
See, when it says the Most High's grace has set us free from the law, it means from that justification
That's right.
process through the
That's right.
Levitical priesthood,
Right.
where you were solely justified upon the your perfection in that law.
Yep.
That's what Yahweh Shai set us free from. The scriptures talks about Yahweh Shai redeemed us from the curse of the law. We're still under the curses, but now through his blood, when he returns, if you're covered under that, you're free from the penalty of the laws, because we broke so many laws.
Right.
Before this truth entered in the truth, knowingly and unknowingly.
We're under the law of faith,
Right.
like it says in Romans 3 and 27.
Right, so you don't read that again?
Yep, this is Romans 6 and Romans 6 and 15. It says, well then, since the Most High's grace has set us free from the law, does that mean that we can go on sinning?
Right, and people don't understand that dynamic. The laws are holy. The laws are a good thing. It's just the covenant agreement through John the Baptist. What does John mean? Grace. He is grace. Yachanan or Yohachanan. So that grace period, him baptizing Yahweh Shai, what did he say? He must increase, I must decrease. John was a direct descendant of Aaron. Basically, he was basically saying in the spirit, like, the priesthood is changing. The way back to the Father is now through him. It's changing now. And to get there, we would need a grace period because we're still in captivity, pursuing the Daniel, the 7th chapter. We were in the 4th beast, but we still had a whole nother captivity to go into. So the grace period was needed. So when you talk about the worship of Yahweh Shai, man, yes, because through his blood, through him coming into the earth and doing what he did, it set us free from that contract and gave us a grace period to be entering into a new contract.
He bought us out of that bad deal.
Right, right. He's the Jubilee.
Yeah.
Now, Galatians 5 and 13. You got something?
I had
Hit it.
like I had Psalms 130, right?
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 130 and verse 3.
There you
It
go.
reads,
Beautiful.
it says, if thou, Yahweh, shouldest mark iniquities, Yahweh, who shall stand? You know, no one can stand. If the Lord was to mark us for the things that we've done in this life and our past incarnations, you know, we wouldn't be able to stand. We get judged right there on the spot and be put to death because what? All have fell short of the glory of the Lord.
Big time.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we want the mercies of David. We don't want to be judged from the action, because according to the technicalities of the law, King David should have been dead. But there was another justification process that came through the mercy of the Most High.
That's right.
It intervened and had mercy on him. Now he got judged, but he didn't get put to death.
God. Yeah, you brought up the mercies of David, and just shows you how in the spirit you got to be to understand it. Because when you look at David's violations and Saul's violations, according to the law, King David's violations were more crucial. He numbered Israel, committed adultery.
He numbered Israel without being commanded to.
Yeah,
Moses was commanded.
Yeah, absolutely.
To number Israel. David
Absolutely.
did it about his own, you know.
Committed murder by having Uriah the Hittite slew, and committed adultery.
Right.
So when you look at Saul's violations, they weren't as severe, but according to the Spirit, the Lord still had mercy on David.
This is
You know what I'm
deep to
saying?
you.
Right.
Moses, well, I know a lot of you, but I don't care. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Moses and David were the same guy.
That's it. That's the
In the reincarnation.
Yep.
That's right. I said it. Moses and David were the same guy. You dig?
the head of the church.
That's why the Spirit was on David to do it, because he did it in his past life as Moses.
Right.
So the Spirit was on him. Let me know it, because he did it before.
He did it before. Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
why the Lord let him slide. Because those are, right in the past life, I told him to do it. So,
No doubt.
you
No
did.
doubt.
And then the men under David even knew, like, I'm not really for they
They
fake counted.
faked it.
They
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
that it was like he going off now. I'm not really for the number.
Yeah.
But it was spiritual.
Spiritual. Yeah.
God.
It's all spiritual.
Right.
Moses and David are the same guy.
Right.
All right?
Right.
They're the same guy. In different time frame, just reincarnation.
That's it.
Moses died. He came back in the reincarnation as King David. Okay?
Right.
Came back and Peter, the head apostle
Right.
of
Same.
Yahweh's, that's Moses and David, same guy. Let's go back in time. Jacob, Yaakov,
Yep.
our forefather that brought forth the nation of Israel, that was the same guy.
That's David. That's him.
That was King David, that was Moses, that was Peter, okay? And all you guys who don't believe it, fuck you.
Abel.
Abel,
The first disciple under Adam.
God.
That's right.
All you guys that don't believe that, fuck you.
That's right.
Right.
God. I do got a precept too.
And
real
then I
quick.
want to get Galatians 5 and 13. Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 1. Comfort ye, my people, saith your God. And this is going into the mercy. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her, that her warfare is accomplished, and her iniquity is pardoned. For she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. And I'll explain that. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, making straight in the desert a highway of our God, which is John the Baptist. Now that previous verse, it says that you have received double of the Lord's hands of her sins. Now you got to look in the ancient culture of us, our culture, to know what that means. Back in the gates, when you went into the, Jerusalem and such, you had debts that would be posted on a wall, and your debt will be there, your name will be there, how much the debt was. And the only time that debt was taken off is if somebody was to see that and they would pay that debt, and then that's when that paper was folded and your debt was released. So it says you have received of the Lord's hand double. That's going into the folding of that paper, that mercy, because Yahweh Shah was the one that paid that
It's
debt.
called a bounty.
Come.
It's called a bounty.
Mm-hmm.
You had a bounty on your head.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Galatians 5 and 13.
Yep.
And then somebody get Acts, the council, Acts 15 real quick, because I want to make a point too.
Galatians 5 and 13, it says, For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another.
And liberty and grace is the same thing. You want to say something?
No,
Yeah.
no, Elder.
Yeah.
I'll make your point and I'll land back off you.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Read it again.
Galatians 5 and 13, it says, For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty.
Liberty, grace. All right, but there's a mindset that should come with grace amongst the church, amongst the body. Grace ain't just this thing we play with. From the time Noah received the vision of the flood to the time that the boat was complete and the rain dropped, that was the end of grace. Once that rain started dropping, was the end of grace. So what you do with your grace period is very important. Okay, let's get that. And a lot of it is going to be centered around your fear of the Lord, which there's certain things you're not taking the chip is going to be based upon your obedience to the law, the commandment at the end of the day, which the order is not to bow the knee to the image of Baal. Another thing is a lot of people talk about the keeping of the laws, but when it comes to what we walking into, this new world order Esau's trying to set up, you're going to have to keep the law in order to not bow to the things he's bringing. It's going to have to, you're going to have to keep the law then as well. When the jab came, you got to keep the law. When the charagma come, you got to keep the law. So keeping the law goes far beyond these outward things, these fringes. Keeping the law is a mindset. It's all centered around love. Like we always hear this word love. They've effeminized the word love. Love means you're not going to commit adultery. Love means you're not going to steal. Love is fulfilled in the law. That's what we were supposed to do from the beginning, was just love. And spread it throughout the earth.
Yeah,
that's
love
our
is
culture.
That's it.
To not lay with another man's life, that's love.
To not be a mo.
Right, to not eat these things that clean the waters, that's love. To not eat crab, that's love. Because now you're allowing the water to be clean. You're allowing the Lord's creation to be as it is. This creation that we have in front of us was supposed to be taken care of and lived in a particular manner. And the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai happened to give us the culture that's going to lead to it being all beautified, man.
Yeah, man. And another thing, in the kingdom, the other nations are gonna be under the law too.
Yes.
Yep.
You think we gonna be ruling up there
Right.
on the planet, and Moab are gonna still be eating cat, dog,
Nope.
ham gonna be we're gonna allow homosexual behavior? No, man. No, bro. They're gonna keep the law. So the law ultimately was really for all nations.
Right.
It's the law.
It was just to be administered by a particular people.
Con.
You know.
That would prove who the Lord's chosen people are.
That's it.
It was given to Israel.
Right.
Okay? But the law of the Most High is the fucking law of the earth.
That's it.
That's how human beings were meant to live.
There you go. That's it.
Okay? But you just said it, the elder Yahshua.
Yeah.
It was administered, but so the Lord would know, so that everybody would know who the Lord's chosen people were, man.
That's what Adam was for.
Deuteronomy 6 and 7, right?
Right.
Can we get that right quick? Somebody, quick.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep, I got it.
Read that real quick.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7.
What, 7?
Yes, 7. Yeah.
7 is Salaki, you know, bro.
Nah.
I get it.
Throws up sometimes.
I get it, yeah, bro. You know, man, come on, man.
No, it happens. It happens.
Long time, bro, long time. In my head.
It's an oldie but goodie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power.
Yeah, the scoffers, that nigga Ricard getting senile too. Yeah, whatever, I'm getting, yes, I am. But I love it.
The flesh is waxing old.
Yeah.
That's it. I love it, bro.
You forgot more than they ever learned.
Thank you. Go ahead, brother. Start from the top.
Yep, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy
What made
power.
them holy, though?
Yeah, right.
What made us holy?
Yeah, the Lord giving His law
Right.
to
The
us.
law.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what set you apart.
That's right.
No, Elder, go.
Yeah.
Y'all show, man.
Psalms 147 and 19.
Right.
His word must relate to
Right.
laws to Israel.
Right. That's what made us special to him is the way we would walk amongst all. We were always supposed to walk in a particular way.
That's right.
That set up, and people see it even when we go eat. They see these guys are different.
Mm-hmm.
Because what? It's something on us. It's in us.
Yep.
Holy conduct. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It says, the Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Elder Wamba, see, that goes into what you said.
Right.
It was administered, the law,
Right.
right? But even though Adam had the law,
Right.
the Adamites,
Yep. They were the kings and
They were
priests.
they had the law,
Yeah.
but it just wasn't committed to actual print.
Right. It was just a way.
It was just the way of the earth.
That's what we're going back to.
Thank you. You think the Most High, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, well, see, man, this goes into other deep shit. I mean, I used to do lessons on this a long time ago, bro.
Right.
20 years ago, we used to do lessons on this. Listen, man, see, this is getting into deep shit, deep stuff. And the answer to it is St. John, the first chapter. St. John, not First John. John, in the Bible, the book of John, okay? Listen, y'all read that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know the breakdown of that scripture? That whole first chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Y'all know what y'all do?
Mhm.
Y'all understand that?
Yes, sir.
Y'all get it?
Y'all told us that.
That's why we touch on that. Salaki, man. Like I said, bro, forgive me in my old age. But, you know, that's something that I always go into. The first fruits.
Yep.
Man, bro, that shit is so beautiful. It's so fucking beautiful,
Absolutely.
man. I never forget, man, like, years ago, one by, man, like, man, you know, my upbringing in this truth was so fucking beautiful, I can't even describe it to you, man. Like, I remember me and Apostle Gabar, this back in the 90s, man, when we was sitting, going to the scriptures and just have these highly fucking spiritual conversations, you know? For real, man, and we used to go into that, man, a lot of, like, you know? That's all we did, bro, was just ponder on the scriptures every day, you know? But anyways, that St. John, right, like the first fruits, man, those are going back, that that in actuality, St. John, the first chapter, really is a precept to Genesis.
Yes, sir.
First chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
The
that's
first
it.
chapter.
Yeah,
Sure is.
Shai,
Basically,
basically.
you gotta understand. You gotta, and that's where, if for you to truly understand it, you gotta know the Hebrew.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how you get it, man. Like, you know, Genesis, the first chapter, St. John, the first chapter. So pretty much all, when he was writing that, he was just quoting the scriptures, man.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
They understood that Yahweh Shai was the first.
They knew that.
That's what that's why they were so like, wow.
And not just Yahweh Shai.
Right. They
Yahweh Shai was the
is
first.
Is the
But then
first.
there were other spirits with him.
Yep.
Who were those spirits? And then see, that's what these dumb Christians don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And those angels that kept not their first estate. And these dumb motherfuckers, like my mother and the Jehovah's Witness shit, angels came down and formed bodies, started popping women. No, you dummies.
Right.
The angels that kept not their first estate were talking about us.
Not keeping the law.
That's it.
Breaking the law.
Yep.
At that
That's
time,
it.
at the time of Noah.
That's
what were
it.
they doing? It said that the iniquity had got so bad, the Lord was like, I'm going to flood the earth. It was sin back then.
Con.
This has been biting us in the ass as a nation for eons, man. We've been going through hell. We've been the same thing, being scattered among the heathen and going away from the way that the Heavenly Father
Why would the Most High
Right.
flood the whole goddamn earth
Right,
and only save 8 fucking people?
right.
Huh? No. Wamba. The Most High drowned every goddamn body.
Right.
Right? And only left 8 motherfuckers alive. Why?
Right.
Because the laws were being
The
broken.
laws were being broken.
The same shit that we got going on now.
Right. Isaiah 24.
Con.
And that's going to lead to the elites being put into captivity because they're the ones who are at the forefront of the laws being broken worldwide. So yes, you do keep the law. And I want to make a few more points. You got some?
It's all good.
Let's get Acts the 15th chapter. I want to make this point to these Christians because they talk about how the Gentiles. You know, we know. I'm not going to go deep into the Gentiles. We already know that, but when they were brought in, when you go into this council in Acts the 15th chapter, it was because there were believers coming in from the Gentiles. The heathen were being justified by faith, which is basically the Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, man, who were scattered in these different regions that were being brought back in. So there had come a controversy how are we going to bring them in? Because a lot of the circumcision, even the ones who believed, were like, no, they got to be circumcised in order to be saved. Now, what cuts that?
Repeat that.
Well, Abraham.
Abraham cuts that.
Okay.
Abraham received all of the promises and everything while uncircumcised. So that's what Paul was using these similitudes and going into these things to break down the Gentiles that are going to be justified by faith. Abraham was likened unto a Gentile. He was born in the Ur of the Chaldees, all right, which is Babylon, the physical Babylon. His daddy was an idol worshiper, so he grew up as just like us, celebrating these different holidays. But what the Lord came to him while he was in that state. And he was justified by his faith.
That's right.
That's the Gentiles. He was uncircumcised. That's why the Gentiles are tied to the uncircumcision. Now, when you read Acts the 15th chapter, there was a council about how are we going to bring these Gentiles in. What laws do we know they got to do this, they got to do that. You got to be circumcised. So there was a council. But as you could read, I'll do a lesson going into it deeply. But this was the order. This was the final say on how to deal with these Gentiles. Meaning we can't force the whole law on them. But what do? What's the template of bringing them in? And what was it centered around? Go ahead.
Dude, you want me to start at 13?
Yeah. Hit it.
Right, and you remember when you read Paul's letters, a lot of Paul's letters, we always have to make this point. When you read the New Testament, that's not how the Bible was written. These were literal letters. Now, when you look at the King James Bible, a lot of it goes back to what's known as the Aleppo Codex, the Aleppo Codices, which at those times the Masoretes had just compiled the writings that we knew that we had and put it together. So when you read like the book of Galatians or Ephesians or Thessalonians or whatever, these are groupings of letters that were written. Okay? So just to get the gist of what's going on. So when you read chapter and verse, the timing might be different from one verse to another, literally, or one chapter to another. Okay? So when you read here in Acts 15, there's a foundation being laid. I'm going to start at the 13th verse and read. You want me to read pretty quickly?
Yes, please.
Acts 15 and 13, it says, "And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren."
Who was James? He was one of the circumcision. He was one of the heads of the church. Okay, go ahead.
"Hearken unto me. Simeon have declared how the Most High at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name.
Mm-hmm.
And to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written. After this I will return, I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen, and I will build again the ruins thereof."
Right, which that wasn't the fulfillment of it, but the Gentiles coming in is a part of that. Because they will what? Receive the mercies of David. You see what I'm saying? That's the tabernacle of David is going to be built up through mercy. All right, just like Solomon, he was the mercy of David to even have that temple built.
Right.
That was, Solomon acted as the mercy for David, and he forwarded David's throne for 40 years. We get mercy through Yahweh Shai, which is Solomon. Go ahead.
"And I will set it up, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doth all these things, known unto the Most High."
Because the Gentiles, according to the curses and the disobedience of the
Be
law,
out of there.
what was they will be scattered. That was the curse of breaking that first covenant, to be scattered. And when you get amongst these nations, you will learn these different works. You will worship idols of wood and stone. So the Gentiles that we read about in the New Testament are fulfilling that very curse. They're Israelites who were scattered among these very different nations. But as the word was being preached, some of them was like, okay, I'm going to repent. Ain't that what you did? You're a Gentile. When you heard the preachings, what did you do? That's what was happening. So as they were coming in, there was this debate like, okay, they could come in the fold, but look, how we gonna bring them in? They're gonna do this. Keep reading.
Right. It says that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles for whom my name is called have saith the Lord, who doth all these things, known unto the Most High are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is...
This is the order. This is my sentence. As one of the pillars of the church, this is my sentence. Go ahead.
That we trouble not them which among the Gentiles are turned to the Most High.
Which among the Gentiles, that was the whole thing, because the Israelites would be, somebody get Deuteronomy 28:64 real quick.
Oh, yes, one, but can I just add? We're all Gentiles.
That's it.
Okay, which one of us in this fucking room, okay, can sit here and say that I was born and raised an Israelite? We're all fucking Gentiles. There's a few dudes out there, like I said, a lot of them Old Testament guys that don't want to do.
Our kids, you know.
Yeah, them niggas, you know, them niggas. When we've been battling with them niggas going back to the 90s or One West days, we used to have feuds with them back in. They had communities.
Yeah, some of them were raised in, you know.
They were raised. I raised an Israelite. Okay, but you a nigga.
Right.
You out there selling drugs.
Right.
And them niggas was one by. This is back in the 90s when I first came to the truth. We used to come across them dudes, but they were following Amalek, you know, the way of. Okay, see, we can get into the history, but we was running to the niggas. They had beards, they had the cornrows, right? But a lot of them dudes are grimy niggas.
Right.
Those are grimy, straight up niggas, street niggas. But I played the Israelite.
But that was the same thing that was happening.
Where's your seats? They used to wear the little 4 tassels, like how Nate and them be doing, right? Where's your seats? Well, see, but back then we used to wear the garments, right? Excuse me, but the thing was this. Their thing was like, okay, yeah, we're done with the law. You niggas wasn't even keeping the law. Y'all niggas selling drugs, being niggas, right? So the whole thing was this. The law was given, right, at a time that Israel needed the law.
Yeah, we needed it.
But then Israel still broke the law. See, but then Yahweh Shai came with grace. You know what I mean? Because Yahweh Shai already knew Israel wasn't going to be able to keep the laws. We can't keep the law. Like I said just a little while ago, the Passover will be here soon. We got to have blood, but we can't do that because the cops will be here. Yo, what the fuck's going on with this? Because the neighbors will call the cops on us. Alright? Just on that alone. Yo, these motherfuckers, these crazy motherfuckers, they're a cult. They're a crazy cult. You know what I mean? So, it's very simple. This whole thing is very simple. You can't keep the law, bro. And we were all born Gentiles.
Yes.
We're fucking Gentiles, bro. Come on, man. You brothers, me, we grew up thinking that I didn't know nothing about being no Israelite, man.
Nope.
Until 35 fucking years ago.
Christmas tree, Halloween.
Yeah,
That
well-
was our culture.
All of us, see, look, brother, all of us in this room, we all from different backgrounds. But we're together here as brothers now in this truth. Because what? When we learned, whenever y'all woke up to the truth, that at that moment, it stopped. Right? It stopped. Come on, brother. You brothers, look, dude, I'm sitting out here with y'all. And I'm from the Southeast. Originally, I'm from fucking Florida. You brother, Elder Yashawamba's from fucking Oakland, California. The young elder officer there now, he's from Atlanta. You know, we all from there. You from Ohio.
Scattered. We're
Scattered.
fulfilling.
But we all sitting here in this motherfucking room.
Right.
This brother, you Houston. I'm just, y'all brothers from Texas. Y'all originally Houston. You from Houston. Elder Ariala's from here in Texas. But we all sitting here together now.
Right.
But we all from different parts of the fucking country. But we all sitting here together, in this truth. But when you first was coming up as a young, did you know you was an Israelite?
Nope.
I fucking didn't know. I thought I was a fucking Seminole Indian.
Dry bones.
You see? Right? You see what I'm saying? Until I came to New York and then I found the truth. You know what I mean? And then you brothers found the truth. So we're all heathens.
Right.
Technically, as far as
That's the heathen being justified by faith, but we got faith.
the water.
And that was the Gentile. This is everything that we're talking about.
Now, when we heard the word,
Right.
it resonated.
Yep.
And then, holy shit.
Right.
Okay, when you come in the truth, when you brother, like I always, make a joke. I did it. My man Elder, tall, big kid. Shalom, if you listening, you see this video, brother. I always, but I do it in love. I mimic him. That's my man. Elder Big Gad. Elder Big Gad.
Right.
Because in the world, I love me some goddamn shrimp.
Right.
Man.
I ain't lying to y'all. And I'm gonna tell that story till the missiles come. In the world, I love fucking shrimp.
Popcorn.
I had a shrimp demon on me. Right? When I was in the world. With a Red Lobster,
Pop it up.
they had the fried popcorn shrimp, and them shit's a big fat fried, battered and shit. 21-piece shrimp with French fries. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'll get that shit. My mother took us a Red Lobster, and I was A1, but I'll smother that shit in tartar sauce and ketchup, salt, pepper, and just fucking lose my goddamn mind. Right? After eat that shit, boy, you leave out there, right? I go to the Chinese restaurant when I moved in there, shrimp fried rice. That shit was good as a motherfucker. Yes, I said it. It was good. It was wicked. But I didn't know.
We didn't know. Right.
Who told me? Who told me? Who told me? Who told me? Look, man, you gotta be easy. You gotta be doing that. And my mother's a Jehovah's Witness. Oh, see? That's what I'm talking about, Christian. Right? Jehovah.
Yeah, all our parents they were always in church, but we
Church.
never learned one law.
But we eating the fucking some shrimp, right?
Yeah.
Was eating the fucking some shrimp.
Man, pig lips, all
Was eating
that.
some goddamn pork.
Hog head cheese.
Yo, man, give me a ham and cheese sandwich. Right? We was eating so we're heathens.
We were heathens, yeah.
We were goddamn heathens.
Justified by what? Faith. Because according to the law, we would never be brought back into the fold. So, real quick, Apostle, going into
You got it.
exactly what you're talking about, go back to Acts 15.
Oh, what to say? But Elder Big Gad,
Right.
I mentioned him. Let's say this real quick. He the one that told me when I learned the truth. He said, hey, brother, I'm saying, brother. He's reading the laws to me.
Yeah.
When I was first waking up,
Right.
I'm an Israelite.
Right. Right.
But I didn't know I couldn't eat shrimp.
Right.
I'm saying, brother, he had the Bible in his hand. You know, he's all tall and hey, look, brother, you can't no shrimp no more, brother. I was like, what the fuck? Brother, I'm saying, brother, it's in the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
It's in the scriptures, brother. You ready?
Yeah.
You can't no shrimp no more, brother. Can't no shrimp no more.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, brother, you shrimp. Look, brother, can't no shrimp no more, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hey, at that moment, it was like he was going. I was like, oh shit.
Right. This is what was happening with the Gentiles that were scattered. Because they were scattered. Read Deuteronomy real quick. They were scattered because of this curse. Go ahead. Everything he even talking about, we're all fulfilling this very curse. Go ahead.
Where you want to start at 64? Y'all reading 64? Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So the scripture of the heathen being justified faith, it says, ye were Gentiles carried away by these dumb idols. Going into the Greco-Roman Empire. Now, get Acts the 15th chapter.
Right, back in Acts chapter 15,
Start at 19.
verse 19, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble them not, which from among the Gentiles are turned to the Most High, but that we write unto them.
Among the Gentiles. Didn't it say we'd be scattered among the Gentiles?
Yep.
So the sentence is, we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to the Most High. But this is the order. Go ahead.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols,
Which is a law. Right?
and from fornication,
Mm-hmm.
and from things strangled, and from blood.
These are all laws. All of these, this was basically the template, all right, coming into the camp back then. Look, this is what you stay away from. So you couldn't eat what you wanted to, but as you grow in the spirit, you would naturally start to keep more laws. But
Right.
what they were brought in, the template they were brought in on was based upon the law. So how could you say that keeping the law to the best of your ability is an asinine statement? That's what they were told to do.
Bro, come on.
That's the order was basically keep these laws right here, right for right now. All right, and as you grow in the faith, you go naturally start to. That's what we did. Now, somebody get 1 Timothy the 5th. You got some more?
It says, for Moses of old time hath in every city
Right, that's
them
it.
that preach him.
Right. Now let's get 1 Timothy the 1st chapter and the 5th verse.
God.
1 Timothy 1:5. Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart.
Charity out of a pure heart. You know. Go ahead. That's what it's all really fulfilled in, man. Charity, love. Go ahead.
It says, and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned, from which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling.
Vain jangling, just talk. A lot of people just talking. Those Torah only cast people who act like it's the law, the law, the law. It's turned into vain jangling. They've commercialized the fringes, the law. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 7, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm.
And we see a lot of that going on. So our premise ain't you saved by the law, the law, the law, the law. We lean on Yahweh Shai. What we're saying is, as we just read, that one example in Acts the 15th chapter shows you the Gentiles were told to keep some laws.
Yep.
I mean, the what do you know here not to drink blood and stuff like that? That's in the law. You know, not to eat things strangled. That's in the law. Go ahead.
Yep. It says verse 8, but we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
If you use the law lawfully, it's good under this grace period. That's a good thing. Go ahead.
Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless. And
Now, what did the Apostle Recall just describe? A lawless, sinful nature that he was in before he came into the truth. So the law was made for him.
Schoolmaster.
Made for all of us. Go ahead.
it says, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly and for sinners.
Right, sinners. That's what the law was made for. All right. It's just that we're no longer justified by that first covenant. As I said, we'll end it off in Hebrews, the 13th, or Hebrews, the 8th chapter, I believe, the last verse. Go ahead.
Yep. 1 Timothy 1 in verse 9, it says in the middle, for the ungodly and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers.
The Crips and Bloods. That's what they do, right?
Yep.
So them niggas need the law. Them niggas need to know not to do those things,
Yep.
and you point to the law. Now, we understand the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, and we lean on that, but even knowing that, you know, his blood justifies you and frees you from penalty, you still like, man, I'm gonna be on my best behavior. Go ahead.
God, it
And
says,
what's good behavior? We find it's all tied to the volume of the book, which the law at some point, the Torah is the foundation of our belief. Yahweh Shai constantly quoted from the Torah, man. All right, go ahead.
God, it says, for manslayers, verse 10, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers,
Right.
for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine,
Right.
according to the glorious gospel of the blessed power.
Right. So the law is good. Psalms 19 and 7 through 10, real quick. The law is good, man. You know, there's a bunch of other scriptures, but you know, we'll just read this and we can end it off unless somebody else got another point.
All right, this is Psalms 19 and 7. It says, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Making wise the simple. Now, when Apostle Rakal got the instruction from that point on, what did he do? He changed his behavior, which leads to a cleaner body, first and foremost. Now there's less shrimp being eaten.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which leads to a better environment. Imagine when we establish the law and tell the heathen they got to stop eating shrimp.
Cleaned up.
It's going to lead to the earth itself being
New heaven and
the
new
law, the new heaven and the new earth. How could you come on now? What are you dudes talking about? Go ahead.
Verse 8, it says, the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes.
There you go, enlightening the eyes. Now you know what's wrong and what's right.
Guiding your way.
You know?
I got a precept.
Yep.
This is Romans 13, another example of the Gentiles being given the law.
Right.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal.
This is love. This is what love is. When people say, I love you, these are the things, this is how they should act towards you.
Show it.
This is how you show love. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. And he brings out the 10 Commandments just as an example of that to these Romans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These Israelite foreigners that are out here, the Gentiles.
Wasn't doing that.
No,
Second,
love toward his neighbor.
Yeah.
So that means your neighbor is your brother.
That's it.
So you're supposed to teach your neighbor the law.
That's right.
Which is love.
That's it.
So these guys come out, nah, you don't give the law. Yeah, because they just willfully want to be wicked.
They wanna be
Because keeping the law means you can't have sex with another man's wife.
Right.
You can't be a homosexual, as Apostle Gabar says.
Right.
You can't be a pedophile. You can't just eat anything you want to eat that go through your goddamn mouth just because. Focus, I can eat a possum. I can eat a shrimp. I can eat catfish.
I can eat your ass. Start biting. Start.
Yeah, I can eat Shirley.
Hissing
Big
at
Shirley, with Big Shirley out here, Big Shirley gonna become cannibals.
Yep. That's
You see?
But see, in that time, Salaki, in that time, when we get hungry, we still we gonna know, we gonna have a discernment of what's right and wrong. So in that time of lawlessness, you know what I'm saying, at least we'll, you know, there's particular things we won't do.
Come on. Like, okay, when that time comes, like, so we go on the trail,
Right.
and them geese, people gonna start eating them geese, but we can't eat that duck.
Right.
Duck. They gonna do it with cats, dogs.
Right. Raw. Eating
People
them
gonna
raw.
start
Yep.
eating people.
Yeah.
It happened in 70 AD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, man. All these big, fat, black ogres.
Right.
When that time comes, and McDonald's, Popeyes,
Right. Right.
KFC, when all that's gone, and these big Shirleys, they gonna start eating their kids.
Yeah, they're gonna turn into savages.
Yeah.
There's gonna be lawlessness in the earth, and amongst that, the Lord is gonna put a spirit on the elect, the remnant. That we're gonna be moving in a certain way that's gonna lead to life.
God.
But it's gonna be predicated upon the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, of course. But it's gonna lean back on the law. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't eat that. Even though I'm hungry, I still gotta wait on the Lord.
What did the scripture say? My servant shall eat.
Yep.
Right. You gotta believe that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. This is 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if a man be in Yahushua, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things come new. You know? So you're a new creature. Under this grace period, you become a new creature. All right? You change your behavior. You change your thinking. You change how you eat. That's what we're supposed to be promoting to our people, because the thing that's plaguing them and the reason they are in the condition that they're in is because of the way they think, because of what they listen to, because of what they eat. So we have to show them this is what the Most High, this was his stance on this particular behavior, on eating this, on eating that. Yes, we have to show our people those things, man. So, I mean, the point was made. I'll just do a lesson with the other scriptures I got, unless somebody else have one more or something. All right, man, so we'll give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakodash.
And double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Shalom.
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 Yeah, because that's just the type of it can.